Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I got this makeup look right here. I used all drugstore products to create this look, so if you are interested to see how I achieved it, then please just keep on watching. So I started off by using the NYX Angel Veil Primer and I just applied this all over my skin. This is a really nice drugstore primer if you're looking for one. Then to add a bit of glow, I used the NYX Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator. Mine is in the shade Sunbeam and I just applied this in areas I want to glow basically, so on my cheeks and down my nose. And I then just blended that in with my Real Techniques Beauty Blender. So you can see it's nothing too blinding or intense, but it just gives a really nice natural healthy glow to the skin, and this is perfect for those of you who prefer a dewy finish. So now it's time for the foundation. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal 24 Hour Matte Infallible Foundation, and I'm just going to be blending that in with my beauty blender. And guys, if you have not tried L'Oreal foundations, where have you been? Honestly, they do some of the best foundations I've ever tried and they're affordable, so I would always suggest a L'Oreal if you're looking for a good drugstore foundation. Now for powder, I'm going to be using the NYX HG Studio Loose Powder, and I'm just going to be applying that lightly with a big fluffy brush. Now when I first used this powder, I didn't actually like it. I just don't think it really worked well on my skin and it left a slight white cast, and I think even now you can see that it left a slight white cast, but we can just fix that when we bronze up the skin. So for the brows, I used the NYX Micro Brow Pencil and mine is in the shade Espresso, and I just run the spoolie through them just to brush out any sparse areas and then just fill them in basically. So I do have a brow tutorial on my channel which I will link down below if you want to know how I do them in depth, but I don't really do anything too much of them. I just fill in the natural shape and any sparse areas, and then I will just extend them slightly because I feel like they're a little short. I then went in with the NYX Total Control Freak Clear Brow Gel just to set them bad boys in place. So to warm up the skin, I used the NYX Highlighting Contour Pro Palette, and I just used a big EcoTools fluffy brush for this. So you can see I just applied this in any areas where the sun would naturally hit, so just in the perimeters of my face, on my cheeks and on my forehead. I then also did take this down my nose, and yeah, you can see I applied way too much. I didn't know there was that much product on the brush, but I then just went in with my beauty blender just to try and fix up that mess. And it did actually work well, so guys, if you ever do a mistake, just blend it all out. So now it's time for the blusher. I used the L'Oreal Infallible Blush Paint Palette and I took that Fire End shade right there, and just with any big fluffy brush that you have, I just applied this on my cheekbones, and this was just to give my skin a little bit of warmth and colour. So for highlight, I used the Sleek Makeup Solstice Highlighting Palette and I took that bottom shade right in the corner, and just with any brush that you have, I used a fan brush. I applied this on my cheeks, and oh my god, can we just take a moment to look at how blinding that highlight is. Guys, if you have not tried sleek highlights, you definitely need to, but just a fair warning, they are very blinding, so if you don't like that blinding look, then they're probably not best for you. I then just went in with my blusher brush just to make sure the highlight was blended out nicely. So now it's time for my favourite part, which is eyeshadow. I'm going to be using this NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals palette, and I'm going to be dipping into that warm brown neutral shade right there, and just with any big fluffy brush that you have, I'm going to be just applying this into my crease and blending it slightly above my crease just to make sure this colour is all blended out nicely. And then I'm going to be dipping back into the palette and taking that dark burnt orange shade right at the bottom, and just with a slightly more defined brush, I'm going to be keeping this colour a lot lower down into my crease. I'm not bringing this colour as high up as I did with the first shade because I want to make sure this colour gives me the definition that I need. And I then just went back in with that big fluffy brush to blend them two colours out together. So for a little bit of colour, I added the NYX single eyeshadow, and this is in the shade Wild Orchid, and I just applied that on my outer corner, just blending that in with the other colours. I did also bring this slightly into my crease as well. This is just to warm up the look even more. I then just went back in with my big fluffy brush just to make sure all of them three colours were blended out nicely together. Blend, blend, blend. So for my lower lash line, I repeated exactly the same steps as I did on top. So I started off with that NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals palette and took that light brown shade, and then I went in with that more burnt orange shade on the outer corner. I then went into that Wild Orchid like pinky reddy shade, just keeping that on the outer corner just to make sure I connect the top and the bottom. So I then just went in with my beauty blender just to get rid of any fallout. And then for my inner corner, I used that sleek highlighting palette again and just applied that with my fingers. So I then just took the NYX curlers and curled my eyelashes, and then went in with my favourite Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara and just applied this on my top and bottom lashes. And guys, I mean, look at that. Like, honestly, this mascara is one of my favourite mascaras in the universe. Making some lovely attractive faces there. But seriously though, this mascara is amazing. So if you're looking for a good drugstore mascara, definitely give this one a try. So now it's time for the lashes. I'm going to be using this duo glue and some Ardell wispy lashes, and I'm just going to be attempting to apply these. Now I don't know whether the actual brand Ardell is drugstore, but I picked mine up in Boots, which is my local drugstore, as well as the duo glue, so I'm hoping that they're drugstore, but I'm really sorry if they're not. And now it's time for the lips. I'm going to be taking this NYX Slide On Glide On lip pencil, and this is in the shade Sugar Glass. This is just a really perfect colour for a lip liner. It's just a lovely warm brown nude shade. Mine was really blunt though, so I was attempting to line them neatly. And to fill them in, I'm going to be using a NYX Lingerie liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Cashmere Silk. I think this is one of their new shades, and oh my god, this is one of my favourite all-time colours of their line. This is honestly the most perfect nude for me, so I would definitely recommend you trying out this colour if you haven't already. I think this is number 18, I believe. And yeah, so that completes today's makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching it. As always, if you did, make sure you give it a like and hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!